9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hola, 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 ¿cómo están? Es la super comadre Claudia de radiocristalUSA.com. ¿Cómo están todos? Feliz martes. You know, it's really popular to have Taco Tuesday. So happy Taco Tuesday to everyone that loves to enjoy los tacos. Tacos de barbacoa, tacos de carnitas, tacos de pollo. A mí, tacos de aguacate. So happy Taco Tuesday. And also, you know, I always start off with welcoming everybody and just saying, you know, just kind of giving you the deets on what's going on with La Super Comadre Claudia. So, one of the things that I want to just share today is, you know, when life gives you lemons, sometimes you just have to eat watermelon. So I just finished eating about a pound of watermelon. It was already, you know, you're Mexican when you eat watermelon. However, you know you're not fully Mexican when you eat the watermelon out of a plastic container that's been pre-cut by I think HEB. But anyways, you know, and there's a story behind the watermelon, and maybe one day I'll share it, maybe not. But anyways, you know, just wanted to share that sometimes the universe, God aligns or doesn't align or realigns things for you. And sometimes it's not going to go the way you want it to go. But that's just it. And that's just the way it was supposed to be. And as much as you want to ask questions like why not, how come, how can we change it? You know, I've learned at the tender age of 40 something, like 40, mid 40s and beyond, that sometimes you just have to let it be. And the path that you want to create, or the path that you have in your mind and you visualize of how you want things to be, it's okay to have a vision, but then realize that, you know, sometimes the path takes a different turn, and that is okay. Now, so I had that happen to me over the weekend. When my super comadre Liliana asked me, "Hey, comadre, how are you doing?" I automatically said, "I am blessed and highly favored," and that is a saying that one of my new super compadres, Pablo, the godfather of networking, shared. That it's always saying, and he shared it with me the day he came onto my show. You know, the first thing I asked him was that, "How are you doing?" And he said, "I am blessed and highly favored." And you know what? I am blessed and highly favored because, you know, even though I may experience something that took me, you know, off my path, or maybe made me question, like, you know, why am I even doing this, or why do I even take a risk, right? You know, it's like when it doesn't go a certain way, that's still a blessing. When something goes sideways and doesn't go the way you thought it was going to be, that's still a blessing as well. Somehow, some way, it's a blessing. It's the universe, it's God, you know, creating the path for what needs to happen, and also changing the path on something that it shouldn't happen, because it's just the protection to make sure that you are okay. And I want to say that I went through that over the weekend. I am surrounded by so many amazing people, people that I can call colegas, colleagues, work friends, professional organization friends who, you know, were watching out for me. And they gave me some information that it just kind of knocked me down a little bit. And after I went through it and I felt it and I listened to it and, you know, went through the emotions of it, I thought, you know, it's just, that's just the way it's supposed to be. Thank you for that information. Thank you for that revelation. Thank you for watching out for me, for watching out for, I think he says watching out for my back. Thank you for having my back, because that's the way things are supposed to be. Y ni modo. And I don't like saying ni modo either, because it kind of makes it like it sounds like I'm a mom. Like I am like my mom, but no, it's just it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do to change things, to make things to bend a certain way, because it is what it is. So, and that's okay. And if you are experiencing something in your life where it took a turn that you were not expecting, it took a turn where it was off the plan you had created, one thing I do too now is I sit in that feeling. I let myself now, go through that. If it caused heartache, if it caused pain, if it caused sadness, and just be in that moment. Be in that moment, because that's what makes us human. There are going to be situations where it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, it's going to be sad, it's going to be heartbreaking. And all you can do is just let that emotion, sit with you, you cradle it, and then you let it, and then you say goodbye to it, and you let it flow through you. That way you can continue moving forward with the things that you need to do in your life. So today is a day where I was thinking about Pablo and his quote, "I am blessed and highly favored." I was thinking about when life gives you lemons, eat some watermelon, because I was given the gift of watermelon, and that's all you can do. And when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But in my case, if life gives you lemons, go eat the watermelon. But anyways, I just want to welcome everybody to my show, La Super Comadre Claudia, and I am here because I just love to elevate stories and journeys and passion, and I love to share the people that come onto my platform, because they all have a superpower. And as you know, I'm La Super Comadre Claudia of RadioCrystalUSA.com, and every person that comes across my path, that comes across my platform, is here because they have a story. They have something to share. They have a journey. They have a passion that potentially could help you, could help your community, maybe someone in your family, maybe the neighbor, la comadre, tu mamá, la tía, un tío, someone, someone. So I am so excited to be here with you. All right. So where is my super comadre Liliana? ¿Dónde estás, comadre?
Aquí, atrás de los controles, right here. I'm right here controlling everything.
Yes, and the funny thing is that the word control, los controles. I mean, we had a little bit of some technical difficulties, and you know what? It's part of us, realizing that sometimes, as much as we want to control los controles,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And you know what? We kept at it. Our guest was connecting, reconnecting. You were connecting, reconnecting. I was connecting, reconnecting. And then we were already making, a different path just in case. But then it worked out. So again, as much as we sometimes think that we have plan A down, we have to think of plan B. We have to think of
That's
plan
right.
C. We have to think of plan
And
Z. So,
A to Z, and then
yeah.
A1, A2, A2, A3, A4. I mean, all the way to Z100.
Estamos como los huracanes también, hablando de huracanes. You know how when you run out of hurricane names, and next thing you know, you're like, we don't have any names. What are we naming them now? And they have a whole other system when you go beyond Z. That's how we should all be.
Yeah.
Be ready for beyond Z. But then, comadre Liliana, I don't know about you. There's also that moment where you have to realize, you know what? I'm going to cut my losses and I'm going to let it go. That it's always that balance.
Exactly. I mean, we can plan as much as we can, and still something might go wrong. So vamos a planear lo que podamos, hasta donde podamos, y tal vez vaya a salir algo mal, pero hey, hicimos lo que pudimos y no hay que arrepentirnos de nada.
De nada, porque todo pasa como debe, y a veces lo que pasa es algo que es doloroso, a veces son cosas que son muy, pues muy bonitas, experiencias, pero todo lo que sucede en nuestras vidas es como debe de ser, y no hay otra.
Hay que seguir adelante y apoyarnos unos a otras, como lo estás haciendo hasta ahorita. And I love the way you support our community and our leaders, and of course our are people with great stories. And I know you have a great guest today. But you
Yes.
just reminded me of a song I heard this past Saturday. I was on a date with my boyfriend, and
Uh-huh.
I heard a song which I have on my repertoire, but I had not heard it for a long time, and no la he cantado hace mucho. So it's Que será, que será. And that reminded me what you just said in the beginning is when you're small or when you're little, dice when I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que será, será.
What?
Whatever will be, will be. And that's the truth.
I love
Hay
that.
muchas
I love
cosas
that.
que podemos planear en la vida y no sabemos nunca.
Never.
Puede un pelito de un gato meterse por ahí y cambiar el rumbo. Es the butterfly effect, el efecto mariposa.
True.
Así que hay que just go with the flow, go with the flow. Eso es lo que he hecho hasta ahorita y estar tranquila, no estresarme tanto. Y hay que seguirlo. Y porque te veo a ti, cómo le sigues, cómo le echas ganas y te admiro. And I admire everything you do. And
Yes.
you're I'm one of your biggest fans.
Aw. Well,
Esa es la
gracias.
verdad.
Thank you. Thank you. And everything that I am able to do, and I'll never ever forget this, is that I stand on the shoulders of giants. You and you are a big supporter as well. You saw something in me years ago, and I was like, let's do this.
Yes.
My parents, your parents, my grandparents, your grandparents, just all of our ancestors whose shoulders we stand on, that we can do this.
Y se conectaron.
Yes. So I'm excited. Oye, tenemos aquí gente que se está conectando. Tenemos a Paloma, amiga,
Sí.
saludos.
Al ratito les vamos a mandar saludos a todos, comadre, pero necesito
Bueno.
que nos digas
Oh, yes.
quién es
¿Quiénes son los
bueno, tu invitada especial del día de hoy.
That's right. Oh my gosh. So, like I said, every person that comes across my path there's always a reason why. And this is a woman. This is what we would say, una guerrera, una super comadre. She's been on before, and she talked about a super important topic, and she's going to bring that topic again. And we're going to talk about that. She is a fitness athlete. She is a singer. She is an autism mom. She's big in advocating for families and with children who have autism. And so she is none other than Adriana Beasley. Adriana Beasley is an amazing woman, and she's going to come on and talk about, where she is now, what she's doing now, her current passion that she's working out with, if you get my drift, hint, hint. So we're going to have her on in a little bit. But before we bring her on, Super Comadre, who are some of our sponsors? I would love to share that, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So many wonderful sponsors that we have that are backing us up, that are supporting us. And because they support us, don't forget to support them. And we're going to be naming them throughout the show. So that way you too can go and have your services, your food, anything that's listed here. Make sure that you can call on them, and they can come out and take care of you. Whether it's you need your house cleaned, or you have some legal documents that need to be looked at, or you need to go out to eat with your family, or order and pick it up and bring it home. A ver, ¿dónde está mi super comadre? Mi super comadre que está volviendo al show de la super comadre Claudia. It's my super comadre of the week, Adriana Beasley. Where is she? Let's bring her on.
Hello, super comadre. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I love your energy. I love your passion. And, it's so many stories that are inspiring here that I just feel honored. I feel honored to be here once again. First time was years ago, super comadre. The time just flies.
I don't even know where it went, but it really flew. The last time we were together was before COVID, before the pandemic.
Way
We had this
before, yes.
way before. And you came on, and it was just an amazing fun time. And I wanted to have you back because I wanted for you to bring back that important topic, especially right now. We're at the beginning of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to bring in that experience, that knowledge, those tips that parents that have children with autism can turn to. And especially now you're throwing in the post-COVID pandemic, now going back to school after having been at home, like bringing that knowledge, that awareness to families that may need that, especially, and then we'll do a little bit in español también, so that las familias que requieren cosas en español, recursos de si tienen un niño con autismo, dónde pueden ir, qué información les puedes dar a ellos para que ellos también puedan tener esa información súper importante cuando los niños ya están regresando al salón, a la escuela, y prepararnos en caso de que pues tengamos que regresar a la casa.
We're like always we have learned this past year to just go with the flow and be prepared for the unexpected. I think that's what we have to be, be more willing to adapt, because that's the only way we are going to be less stressed. If we're like, no, this is the way it has to be. But as the circumstances, the current situation is just, we have to be kind of like, what is it, Bruce Lee said, be like water. You have to adapt. So be like water. Just go with the flow. Right now, would you go with the flow? Because our kids are watching that. So, but thank you. And thank you, everybody who's joining us today. I am Adriana Beasley. And, I am an autism advocate, like Super Comadre said. And my journey on the autism, as an autism mom, has taken me, Comadre, to do things and to be in places and meet some amazing people that I would have never expected. My son was diagnosed when he was 3 years old. And if you would have told me, oh, you're going to be the mom, of a child with special abilities, I would call it special abilities, not special needs. I would have said, what? Me? Am I even prepared for anything like that? I would have said, no, not me. But it happened. And, when you were talking about at the beginning of the show that sometimes things happen for a reason because they were supposed to happen that way. Super comadre, I was living in Los Angeles, and, somehow God didn't need me there. I thought I was fine there. I was just like, that's my life. I loved it. The weather was perfect. And my parents are here in Houston, like, come back, come over here. I'm like, no, that's too hot over there. You can't pay me enough to go back. That's way too hot. And so I thought my life was already going to be there, but never say never. And here I am. And let me tell you, it has been a blessing. I was so new to this journey. I had no idea when my son got diagnosed, what was I going to do? How I was going to go about it. I had no idea of any support groups or anything. So it was very overwhelming. And this is what I want to tell every parent of a newly diagnosed child with autism: to don't get stressed, don't get overwhelmed. There are support groups. And this is the reason why I met an amazing mom, another autism mom, Andresa Carleo, at another group that we had just started to attend. I just kind of met each other, but we clicked. Her son is older. Her son is right now 18, I think. And he is blind and autistic. So we have different experiences. Mine was younger, newly diagnosed, and hers was older. So she had already been longer in the journey. Severely autistic. Mine, I didn't know. He was still starting to talk, but I didn't know how long. And one of the characteristics of a child with autism is they struggle with communication. Many of them are nonverbal. They communicate different other ways, but some are verbal. They tend to have a processing disorder where loud noises or bright lights really bother them. And with communication, social skills, it doesn't come natural to these kids like it would to any other child that starts making friends. Kids on the spectrum, it's very, very hard for them to pick up on the social cues.
Now, let me ask you this, because this could be helpful for new parents that are kind of like, what's going on? So is there some type of screener? What's the first signs of it?
Yes.
Does a pediatrician pick up on that? How does it manifest so that parents can then jump on
Yes,
it?
that's a very good question. Usually the signs start showing at 18 months old, where the child doesn't have a lot of, or loses. If they had good eye contact, they start to lose the eye contact. If they had learned a couple of words like dada or toy or mama, at 18 months old or a little older, they lose that. When all of a sudden your child loses whatever words they had learned, and they stop making eye contact, you call their name and it's like they don't hear it. So a lot of the parents take the kids to get their ears checked, thinking that is because the child is not hearing when their name is called. So that's another sign. That's another red flag right there. If they're not talking at a certain age, a lot of the kids, when they're even 1-year-old kids or 2-year-old kids, they're like talking up a storm and blah, 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 blah. If your child is not doing that, now granted, some kids take longer, it's speech delay, but if the eye contact is not there anymore, if they lose some skills or vocabulary that they had, or if, they don't answer or look at you when the name is called, then start kind of keeping an eye that it maybe keep an eye for autism. And I'll be happy to share some of the other things to look for. We can probably post them in the link or something, but have your child or take your child to the pediatrician. A lot of the pediatricians, if they're not a developmental pediatrician, then go ahead and explain to your pediatrician, your child's pediatrician, what's going on. Loss of vocabulary that he has previously learned, loss of eye contact, and tell them, I'm thinking this may be autism, or what it's called pervasive developmental disorder. Pervasive developmental disorder is what a pediatrician might call it, not necessarily autism. And they will get tested for that. They might get referred to a neurological doctor, a neurologist, who will be the one doing the diagnosis. Sometimes a psychiatrist will do the diagnosis. And so make sure you get your child evaluated. Make sure you're always explaining these things that you notice, these changes in your child. Look, these are the milestones that they should be reaching according to the neural milestones for his or her age. And I'm just concerned that they're not reaching it. They're not, looking at me. A lot of the times these kids start lining up the toys. When they line up the cars or they tend to put things in line, or in a certain order all the time. Then that could be another sign. But have them get checked again by a neurologist or a psychiatrist, are usually the ones that will give the official diagnosis, or if it's a developmental pediatrician.
See, that's super duper important. And yes, we'll put this information, any link you have that just described what you share, is perfect, because that way parents, in case they see something, they know, that they can go in ready with some information like, hey, I've been noticing, my kids, we talk a lot, we always read to them, and all of a sudden the language that was developing starts coming. It's
like they're regressing. It's like, what happened? You had learned this, and now you don't. What happened to what you had learned? No. So that's one of the things. And when I was talking about my the mom that I met, the autism mom I met, Andresa Carleo, we actually her car broke down one time, and this is how things happen. I'm telling you, things happen for a reason. When things are supposed to happen. Her car broke down, and she still lived in Baytown. She had just moved closer. Her car broke down. She called me, to see maybe I could help her, give her a ride to the mechanic because her car broke down. And so she had the mechanic, the mechanic, she had barely made it to the mechanic and she needed a ride back home. Mm-hmm. So while the car was at the mechanic, it was lunchtime. And I said, why don't we go to lunch before I go drop you off? And so we went to lunch, and that's where we decided, you know what? What if we make a little group to support other moms and other parents that are going what you and I are going through, what we went through. And that day, Autism Moms of Houston was born. Who would have known, comadre? And you know, Autism Moms of Houston. Yes. Who would have known?
And I just want to just share with the listening audience that if you're just jumping on right now and listening to our returning Super Comadre guest, it's Adriana Beasley, and she is here to talk about, how Autism Moms, Autism Moms Houston, how that's coming along and how that happened, and also the power of just going with the flow. I wrote down words. You said, go with the flow, adapt. That allows us to be less stressed. I love that quote, be like water by Bruce Lee, and just go with the flow. And you just gave a lot of great information. You have to, like what a parent can look for in case they're concerned about language development, that it was going and all of a sudden it's not going, or eye contact disappears, just to keep an eye on that and to be armed. So we're going to make sure that you put all your links, all that information in the comments. So whoever, is watching can come back and check it out and take this information with them and be knowledgeable, because that's what this is about. So within a little comadreo at lunchtime, you created.
The group was created, and we thought it was going to be just a couple of moms, and that was in October. And so come December, we had 100 members, and we're like, oh my God, 100, that's awesome. And we thought that was going to be it. Well, now fast forward to this year. It's going to be our 3rd year anniversary, and we have over 3,500 families that we have helped with resources, with activities, and with support and resource groups. Can you imagine who would have known? And we're so happy, and it's so rewarding that what came from something so unexpected, and if you could say random.
Organic, unexpected,
exactly, but planned all along, by the big guy upstairs. And so we have helped all these families. We've had great support from the community. We have partnered up with some amazing nonprofits that bring service to these families, like Rainbow of Hope, Save Diversities, Normal to be Fit. We have so much support from so many amazing individuals that, like yourself, who supports Autism Moms of Houston and the community as well. So thank you so much, Super Comadre. And it's something that's on the rise. Autism spectrum, more and more kids, 1 in 44, 1 in 36 are being diagnosed with autism, meaning that now more kids in the classrooms are going to be diagnosed with autism. Different levels on the spectrum. Is a spectrum. So one child with autism might not look or act or behave like the other child with autism. They might have different characteristics or different expressions of the autism. So if any parent out there, si algún padre tiene un niño diagnosticado con autism, if you have or suspect that you have a child with autism, feel free to reach out to us, Autism Moms of Houston. And you can email us at autismmomsofhouston@gmail.com. You can text us at 832-899-5793. And Super Comadre, I know you're going to put those as well. So that the families that are needing some help, needing some resources, if they need referrals or information about where can I find a developmental pediatrician, where can I find social skill groups, where can I find a therapist or therapy centers, we provide those to these families.
That is amazing. So yes, we need to make sure that we put all that information, and we will, because parents need this. And now let me ask you this. We just went through everyone having to stay home, going to school, online. You have this amazing organization. How did, Autism Moms Houston, what kind of role did you guys play when school shut down, parents became teachers, kids had to stay home, parents were working out of the house, trying to run the house, trying to make sure kids were going on.
Everybody was going crazy. All the moms were like venting in the group, like, I don't know if I can do this. Why? Because all of a sudden, us moms, including myself, we became the teacher. So we had to make sure the disciplinarian, but we had to be the teacher, right? And the mom. And that's a hard thing to kind of separate, because the child is like, but you're my mom. Why are you making me do this math when I really don't want to? Give me a hug. No, you need to make it. And so it was very challenging. Now, when it became, we're turning to the virtual classes, kids would sit down in the computer, and neurotypical kids would sit there and they would listen. For kids on the autism spectrum, the attention is very hard, especially just staring at a screen for that long, and just making eye contact, because it's something that's hard for them. They're listening, but they're looking away. And so the teacher is thinking they're not paying attention, but they're hearing, they're learning, they're listening. But hey, look at me. And the child, my son, after a while, was doing this. He figured out that if he disappeared from the screen, that he didn't have to go to class like that. And so I said, come on, they're smart. And so he would hide under the table. And what got the teacher from a screen say, hey, come back. And so it didn't work after a month or so. Then it was summer school, and it was like you had to find everything under the sun to bribe them. Did you want this toy? And I remember putting his favorite cookie, chocolate chip cookie, right next to the computer, right? Okay, look, sit over here. If you're done with this, you'll get to eat that cookie right there. Look. And so teachers had to become even more creative and more animated and more engaging. So it was hard on the parents, it was hard on the teachers, and we made sure that we provided the moral and emotional support for these moms to keep going. Because, hey, look, this is temporary. We don't know how long it's going to last, but you can do it. You have to sort of relax, just sort of breathe, because the kids feel that. And if they feel you and they see you getting overwhelmed, then they're less likely to pay attention. They're less likely to focus on the schoolwork that they had to do, they had to finish. And now being locked up at home, like everybody was last year, they were not getting the input. They weren't getting outside in the parks. They were just in the same environment. Now, granted, kids on the spectrum, they like the routine. Yes. But that got to them. You can't go to school, which they were used to going to the school and see the teacher, what have you. Now the routine changed, and that was hard for the kids. They had the meltdowns, because kids on the spectrum have meltdowns, and the meltdowns are tough. Anybody out there will tell you, even the teachers that have kids on the spectrum in their classrooms, they know that meltdowns. And when I'm talking a meltdown, it's not a tantrum. When you have a tantrum, it's different. You can handle a tantrum. But a meltdown, a lot of the times, when a child on the spectrum has a meltdown, something that really aggravates them, they have a hard time controlling their emotions and leveling themselves and calming themselves down like any other kid would, easier. These kids, we have to just let them go through it until they're a little bit more calm on their own. It might take time. And then we approach, them to help them with their emotions. But if we try to do it right there when they're having the meltdown, it's not going to happen. So it was hard. And we tried to provide this virtually. We had some workshops for these moms. We had giveaways, which we have, during the month, giveaways, hey, to keep it active, keep the moms engaged. And Super Comadre, we have to make sure that we encourage these moms, because these are strong mamas, strong mamas fuertes. So we had to make sure, hey, that kid is looking up to you. You are important, you are valuable, and you are amazing. So that's what we help these moms and these parents, these dads too.
What an amazing organization that was 3 years old.
Yes, and it's just, where does the time go?
And look at everything that you're providing. You are literally a wraparound, almost a wraparound specialist type of organization, where you have the motivation, the support. People were venting, and sometimes that's all sometimes you need, is just to let it out. And then when you vent, you know, you have someone that says, you know, hey, I got this tip, I got this resource, or look, I hear you, I'm with you, you got this. I mean, that's a lot of times that's all we need.
That's
And
all we need. Somebody who gets it, who's
yeah,
in the same journey, and says, you know what? You don't have to explain to me. You don't have to, you know, tell me why. I know why, and
I
I hear
know
you.
what you're going through. This is
Yes.
beautiful. And you know what, when people come together and put their mind to things, and the number one thing I think to hold on to with this is the vulnerable piece. Like you were vulnerable to that the woman that started with this with you. She was vulnerable with you to share your experiences, you know, and then to create that for other people to say, to raise their hand and say, pues yo también, me too, and this is what I'm going to. That is the most human thing we can do, is to put ourselves out there, is to say, hey, I'm going through this, what, you know, and then other people are like, yeah, well, me too. Because
And
we
you
need
never know who you're going to inspire just by
exactly.
opening your story, by telling your story. And that's what I tell people. Don't be afraid to share your story, because you don't know who you're going to inspire. A lot of people think, oh, this is just me. This only happened to me. Nobody else in the world is going through this.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Your story has the power to change a life. And if it's, even if it's one or two lives, you never know how many people are going to
Right.
be impacted by your story. So
Definitely share your. I just wrote this down. I'm writing down where your. I always like
yes,
to
share
write
your
down.
story.
I'm writing those notes down because I love to come back at the end and share all of the knowledge that you or every guest has come on. And I'm just, you're filling me up again, because
And you know what,
when
Comadre, when yes, well, what you're saying at the beginning that I loved is when things don't happen the way that you had planned. And this was nothing of what I had imagined, you know, when I became a mom. I wanted a boy, I wanted to become a mom, but I never thought I would have a child on the spectrum. I would have to become an advocate. I never knew where this journey was going to lead me, but I surrendered it all because I said, well, I can't control anything. I can't plan for these. I don't know how to plan. I don't know where to begin. And so that's many of the times that's when things are supposed to happen, and you are placed where you are needed the most. It might not be where you thought you were needed, but where you are needed the most. And for me, it was moving from one state to another. Like I said, I was in California, and now I ended up in Texas. I never thought I was going to leave California because I love the weather and outdoors, and but it's such an amazing blessing, comadre, like you were saying, to be here in Texas and to have become a mother to the most amazing child, to be surrounded by these warrior moms that I get inspired by. Andresa Carleo, she's just such an inspiration. She's just one of the strongest moms you've ever met. Um, you know, Sarah Sundell, Michelle Renee Rice, so many moms, Evelyn Mesquite, and so many moms that are expiring. Gita, Gina. These are moms that become your tribe. These are moms that become your friend, but more than friends, I would say your sisters in this journey. And Super Comadre, I never thought where this journey was going to take me. Because of the autism journey, I ended up in a pageant because it was a way to showcase the autism platform. And that's the only reason why I joined. Then because of the pandemic, everybody had to rechange and reshift, and a lot of us, ended up less active. And so I just decided to we partner up with so many amazing organizations, one of them being Save Diversities, which supported us from day one. Leona Phyllis, another amazing autism mom, and she's a special needs attorney as well. So I decided to just start working out this year earlier on my fitness, just getting more of a routine every single day. And so I started with a trainer, and I said, well, I just want to get back more into a routine, because last year with my son at home and everything that happened, everything got out of whack. And for you, what did you do? What did you do with your girls?
Exactly. I have a little yoga room here in my house. We have yoga mats, we have kettlebells, we have the bands, we have, the stability balls. Just, we had to go outside. We were jump roping. We were hula hooping. We did what we could to keep ourselves sane because, you and I are pretty similar. We're out and about. We love people. We love supporting others and supporting each other. So it's hard. It was hard. So I was doing a lot of FaceTime comadreos, happy hours on FaceTime because you need that para alimentarte. And,
yes,
I wanted to, so now we're going into your fitness athletic side of you, because that's like a new passion I'm seeing. I mean, I know you're
yes, and it grew.
This is a new passion. So where are we going? Where are we going with this? Because I saw a little bit of you posting like you're going and learning how to do some poses.
Yes, comadre. Well, it all happened. It started with me just wanting to get into a routine, right? And I started with an amazing trainer, so I would just train because I wanted to, just have a routine with Steve, Cooley, great, amazing a trainer. But I noticed that he competed, and so I'm like, okay. I competed in bodybuilding, but I never thought about that. I'm like, that's not.
Oh my God, there's you and
That's
I.
not for me. And so one thing led to another, where I found out that there was a division where you didn't have to be too bulky. You can be toned, but still curvy. I'm like, I could do that. I could probably have to do okay. And so I decided, I'm like, well, I don't know if I even, if I would be qualified for that, or because these people, I mean, it's a sport and these are athletes. Mm-hmm. So I got all the green lights from everything, from all the signs. You know what? You could probably do it. And I started, with an amazing trainer here in Katy, Paul Moran, with Code Pink Bootcamp, which is amazing because he specializes in bikini bodybuilding, bikini fitness. Okay. So, hold on one second. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is getting serious. All of a sudden, boom, I'm competing. And you never know. I'm telling you, I had already met my posing trainer, Tina Chandler, the previous year. I never thought I was going to be entering the bodybuilding. She's the champion, IFBB champion, bodybuilding, and she's amazing. But I never knew how things were being put in place, the right people. And so I had met her. Yes, it's crazy. And so it happened that now she's my posing coach. I'm posing when I'm talking about this type of competition. You need to have the trainer who is going to train your body, and you have to have a posing coach who's going to help you showcase that body when you step on stage, because it's two different things. You can work your body really, really hard, right? You can tone the muscles and do this. But if you don't know how to show it on stage, then a lot of that work is going to go unnoticed. That's what a posing coach does. A posing coach helps you show your best angles and helps you work the stage, where you go and how to best pose. It's not just like, just go with it. So I started that. You have to have diet. The meal plan is the first thing, and it's 80%. So this all became a healthier lifestyle. Little did I know that when I started posting, hey, I'm just getting back into a routine. Hey, I guess I'm competing. Oh my gosh, I'm competing. Oh, I'm training. Oh, but wait, now I'm in a meal plan. This is what it is. And people started to see the change, I guess, in my body. I see myself every day, so I didn't see it.
I noticed.
And so people were saying, you look thinner, your arms, or this and that. And because I see myself every day, I don't see the change so suddenly. And my friends started to wanting to get back on track on their fitness, on their active lives. And to me, that was huge. But I think one of the reasons that I wanted to do it was, number one, my son, because when I work out, he's there watching me. Now he goes on the treadmill when I'm in there. And he loves the activity. He loves that, make it fun. And it's something that comes natural. So since he's 8, I wanted to make it part of his lifestyle. That is not something that you have to do, but it's something that you do because it's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now my son is into it, and I wanted the autism moms from the group to know that we need to carve out time to take care of ourselves.
Mm.
Not necessarily to compete in a fitness competition, but start to get more active. Because why? When you start moving, Comadre, when you just move, you get your body moving, your mind starts
Yes.
feeling different. You notice?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden you're more alert. Like if you're giving a speech, people, you're listening to a speech and you're sitting down, your mind starts wandering. But if the
Yes.
speaker says, "Come on, everybody up, jump up and down, do this, blah, 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 boom,"
Mm-hmm.
and then you sit back down, you sit back in the chair and you're like, "Oh,
You're
I want to
ready.
learn
You're
what's
awake.
going on." You're
Yeah.
hyped up. So it's the attitude, that's extra energy, the mindset changes. So now you're more equipped and better equipped to face the day.
Mm.
You're less likely to be stressed or overwhelmed because now the endorphins, your body's more energized, the blood, the oxygen flowing. And so your mindset changes
You
and
got
it helps you keep it more positive.
the
And I
happy
know you
hormones.
exercise too. See,
Yes,
I've
happy
seen it.
hormones. Happy hormones going about. That's what you want. Yeah, and I want to say, when I think at the beginning of your journey, when you were getting back, I met you at the parking lot of a restaurant near your house to pick up some donations for the
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo NHPO networking event. It was our first open air after, post COVID. And
Oh, that's
Autism
right.
Mom
Yes.
was there to support, and we were giving you a shout out. And I always, you've been there for the following networking that we had events at the ballroom at Bayou Place back in July. And I loved how, you came again and you sponsored some door prizes, and there was interest and I remember telling you, when you bring your door prize, make sure you put Autism Moms on it, on the bag, put something on there so people can see, as where this door prize is coming from. Because to me, it's allowing for a family member that might have someone, with maybe someone with autism in their family, and maybe they don't know how to approach the family, or maybe they would like information, or maybe they suspected. And there were some connections. People saw your bag and were reaching out, like, who's that? Who the people with autism, and who are they? Because I need it for my family. And that's exactly what I want to see.
That's what it's all about. So, and I know that whoever saw that, Comadre, and thank you for allowing us to, spread out the message. And because by doing this, by you opening your heart and saying, look, extending the invitation, would you like, this is the event, would you like to be a door prize, or would you like to help out in any way? You are opening the possibilities for somebody else to find hope. And we never know, by doing these things, by opening ourselves and becoming the
Like
way, or the message, that, what I'm sharing, I'm sharing resources, connections, and somebody somehow is going to benefit. You might change, or you're changing lives. And so thank you so much for all the support, NHPO. Thank you so much, everybody. I was so glad to have met so many amazing people that day, and I'm excited about the next event. So thank you. And yeah, we're here to support other families with autism. And again, if they want to email us, autismmomsofhouston@gmail.com. Just send us if you have any questions, or join the group. We're on Facebook, Autism Moms of Houston, on Facebook, and on Facebook page as well. So feel free to check out some resources there as well. And Comadre, well, we have to work out together because I know you work out as well, and your girls are watching.
I'm getting back into it. So, I kind of fell off the wagon because school started, but my trainer's like, we're waiting for you. So I'm going to go on Thursday. But you know what I've been doing here at home in my little room? I wake up, I try at least 3 times out of the week. I do what I was doing at the gym. I'm doing it here at home. And it's simple things that I needed that, to build my limbs, because with the whole COVID experience, it really knocked me down. And I knew I was going to get better. I just didn't know when, but I am 1,000 times better today than I was 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And
I'm so happy to hear that. Comadre. So happy to hear that.
Yes. And I want to give a shout out, to Elva Trevino out of Champions Club Gym, because she's the one that put it together for me. And she made it where she pushes me enough. And she knows, okay, how she monitors like my breathing. How's your blood pressure? Is it okay? How's your heart's your beats per minute? How are you breathing? Because that was the biggest thing, was building my lungs back up. And
yes,
I'm
that's
much better. So yeah, I love hoy. I still, today I did it. Yesterday I did it. Woke up, did my little thing in the morning.
There you go. Hey, as long as you keep it up, and that's one thing that I tell my friends and the autism moms as well. And this is the reason that led me to. They were started asking me questions. Well, how do I do this at home? What about the smoothies? And so I started a group called Strong and Fit Queens for these moms and for any woman out there who wants to learn some of the home workouts, because there's stuff that you do in the gym, but there's a variation that you can do with the same workout at home, right? Mm-hmm. So you find that in the Strong and Fit Facebook group. So feel free to join. I'll be sharing, and I have been sharing some at home workouts, some healthy recipes, and we all love smoothies. It's been so hot up there.
I know.
The smoothies have been a success, and some of these recipes, but nutrition is key. A lot of the people that say, well, I want to do all this exercise, that's the only way. Start watching your diet. Start watching what you eat.
That's the ticket. That is the ticket, is what we put inside our bodies.
Of that
we can run in circles. Yeah. We can run in circles all day long. We could do all kinds of.
But if you don't watch what you eat, you're wasting your time, pretty much.
You are,
because the body is a machine. The body's a machine. Think about it like a car. You don't go and have a Ferrari and go put the lowest octane gas. No. You don't. You put the best. So our bodies are amazing. Our bodies are the most amazing machine that we could ever own. And so let's feed it the best way possible. Let's know, let's remember that if we keep our bodies active, our minds are going to be more alert, more aware. And what we put into our bodies is going to affect the way we feel and how much energy we have in the day.
Everything, what we put in is what we're going to get out. So you put in good stuff, you're going to have good output all around. Your emotions, your feelings, your goals, your life, your family, everything will be. But
everything.
We're already at the last 4 minutes. Can you believe how fast time goes by?
No, you could sit here and talk all day. So, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everybody that has supported the community and the autism community, my fitness journey as well. And with what I do, that has kind of led into my work as well, which is helping families get prepared for the unexpected. Comadre, with everything that's going on, if the parent, the mom or the dad, God forbid, something happened to either one of them, what's going to happen to the family? You see all these GoFundMe accounts that are being, open here and there because the families were not prepared financially. So we're going to do a financial education summit or series, which is going to start this Saturday, September 4th. With the agency that I'm in, but this is to help families, and you see how all becomes full circle. The training, the autism, the community, it just becomes full circle to something that I never knew. I never knew. So
it's like a wraparound service here. You're wrapping your arms with every facet you could think of to support families in every different direction you can. So you heard it here. We just had an update on my super comadre, Adriana Beasley, who is an amazing woman, mom, autism advocate warrior, fitness. Now we have Strong and Fit Queen. So please follow, please share yourself. If you need some support, if you have some questions, do not hesitate to reach out to Adriana. She is always there. She's been supporting us. We're supporting her, and we'd love to have you back as well at the next NHPO, which is September the 16th. Come out, share your message, share your journey, share your pageant that's coming up. make sure that we continue to put you in your organization and elevate it so that in case anybody needs it, you're right there to support. So gracias.
Thank you very much. I already have it on my calendar, Comadre. So I hope everybody watching, don't miss it. NHPO on September 16th. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys need to follow me on social media, Adriana Motivation on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well, or the Strong and Fit Queens. Email adrianamotivation@gmail.com. And please reach out if you are a family or somebody who might be on the autism spectrum, autismmomsofhouston@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Comadre, for having me again. And keep an eye out for the summit. Like I said, our families need to be prepared now and more than ever. So with this education about how to best be prepared this Saturday, I'll put it in the notes below. So we'll be happy to help in any way we can.
Thank you. And Adriana, you hold on. Don't leave just yet because we're going to take a group picture at the end. So
let's do it.
Come on back, Super Comadre Liliana, because I know we got to close it out. But last words from la señora de los controles.
Sí, the woman behind the scenes that makes the magic happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us. And remember, La Super Comadre Claudia show repeats every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And listen to her previous shows. If you missed them for a reason, just go ahead and join us on YouTube. We have la radiocristalusa.com, radiocristalusa.com, or on YouTube as Radio Crystal USA, and also La Super Comadre Claudia. You can just watch him and share him, and of course meet all these great personalities she brings with lots of stories, with a lot of share with the world.
Yes, mucha pasión. I love it. So thank you again for coming on, Adriana. Thank you again to the listening audience.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me. Thank you for supporting the community. Let's go out there. Everybody watching, you guys have a gift. You have greatness within. Don't let it go to waste, and cover it. Take the dust off and go out there and shine your lights. Remember, you never know who you're going to inspire.
For my Super Comadre Adriana, shine your light. And I want to remind everyone, go with the flow. Be like
water.
Because adapt is a good one. I love that. Share your story, and just know that you have to surrender it all at times, and that you are placed where you are needed the most. So those are all words of wisdom that I'm walking away with today from my Super Comadre Adriana. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pose for a photo. Pose for a picture. Yeah. Ahí está.
Todas posudas. You don't have to ask us twice to pose.
You're shy.
Wait. I can't do it. Ready? I'm not using my fuerza. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow. Yo nomás puedo con uno, con el otro. Ahí va. Oye, si estamos bien fuertes.
Fotos, don't mess with us. There you go, right? Peace.
Yeah. Got it.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Love you, ladies. And let's go out there and make this world a better place.
I
miss you.
Love you. Virtual hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. Adios.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next time.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.